Hello everyone, welcome to the sixth lecture on CSS from Desi Q&A. So in this lecture, we will basically learn about debugging CSS. So debugging in CSS. So what is this? So sometimes when writing CSS, you will encounter an issue where your CSS doesn't seem to be doing what you expect. So at that point of time, perhaps you believe that a certain selector should match an element, but nothing happens, or a box is a different size than you expected. So these kind of errors in CSS are called as bugs, and resolving this or solving these type of bugs is known as debugging in CSS. So for that, uh, let's work on this form itself. Let's see how we can check if there are any bugs and debug them. So once it opened, what we can do is, uh, so if I right click, we have two options here. You can see the first one is view page source. If you click on the view page source, you will get your HTML and also the CSS content over here. So if you have see, you can get your CSS content also over here. So the thing is that view page source will give the entire document of your HTML as well as CSS. So there are certain times while you use this view page source, and there are certain times when you use your inspect element. So what you can just do is, if you're viewing some web page, what you can do is, if you want a web page to be built in that way, if you want to build a web page uh like that, so at that point of time, what you can do is, you can just go to that web page, you can click on view page source, and you can view the content, you can view the raw content over there. So this is the use of view page source. And the next thing is inspect, as we have already seen, but we have not seen it very thoroughly, right? So in the view page source, what we have is, you can see, you can click on your head, and you can see your content over there. You can see the content of the head over there, and the body. If you hover on it, you can see the body has been showing here. I mean to say is, a box model is being displayed as we have it here. The padding, border, margin, all these things are visible here. And next you can see for the div, the container is been shown, the container of the div, and form, from where the form is begin. So this form is basically the content. So like this, you can hover through and see if that particular tag is working fine. So next thing you can do is, you can just go to this computed, and you can just see how this box model basically works. And you can, here you can see the box sizing, display, all these things are available over here. So you can view this on your laptop, and you can see how this basically works. So in the debugging, as we have learned that, suppose we have some errors in our HTML page, those errors will not be displayed here. Suppose you missed the, let's say, um, let's say for this head, you missed this slash. So at that point of time, what happens is, even if I reload this page and see, we can see that this slash has been added over here. So HTML basically has its rules built inside. So using those rules, it has been added over here. And for the CSS, what you can just do is, you can go to styles, and you can see there are these styles, You can click on this payment and you can see what type of styles have been applied over there. You can click on let's go inside of the body and see the stylings. Here you can see the font family is cursive. Suppose you don't want this to be there. Suppose you want let's say this is, I don't know if this is a font. So yeah, this is a font. You can see this has been changed. And then what we can just do is you can change the values over here. You can check the apply different values and you can check, see the margin has been applied as very big. So this is basically how it works. You can just make changes over here. You can also increase or decrease the padding. So you can also see that the padding we have mentioned is 8 pixel. We have not mentioned the top, right, bottom, left over here. So this is applied, 8 pixel is applied to all of those. So this is basically how it works. And we can also see that here a strike has been applied. You can see it means that this margin 8 pixel for the body applied has not been applied. So while coding you may encounter that some of the styles may not be working. So at that point of time what you can just do is you can go to inspect and styles. You can see, so what is happening over here is, this is striked out, it is not working, this style is not working. So basically here we have this, right? You can see the margin 15 pixel. So this is used and this is not used. That is the reason why this is striked out. So you can debug your CSS apps in this way. And so yeah, this is how it basically works. You can explore it on your own by building your own web pages. Understand the concept of box sizing. For that, I will create a new page, new file. So let's save it as box sizing.html. So in this, let's start with this. And here we're not focusing more on our HTML page. So what we can just do is div dot content box. This has been created. These are some kind of shorthand notations that you should know to use in the Visual Studio Code. And let's give a line break, and then I will create one more div with the class name as border box. So yeah, let's name it as border box. And for the styling, I will quickly add some styles. And for our div, what I want to do is I will just keep our width as 160 pixel. All these things we already know. As much as you practice, you will get good at it. So 80 pixel. And then let's give the padding of 20 pixel. And then let's give some border. Uh, let's view our page side by side. Border, let's give 8 pixel solid. Let's give this as red color. So let's give what we can do, we can give the background color. Background, we will give it as yellow. So yeah, this is how it works. So to for the better understanding, I'll just comment it out for now. Is I want to style this content box. For that, what I will just do is I will just say this is content box, and then we have this property as you have already used box sizing, that is content box. So this is the default one. Every box gets this. So to understand about our sizing, so it is the most important thing we should understand. So the total, let's understand the total width of this. Total width of this would be, we have given the width is 160 pixel. You can see it over here. So while I'm writing the measurements, you observe all this entire code. Okay, I mean to say all this entire code, and then it is 6 pixel, and then what it is done is it is 2 into 20 pixel, as we will have the width at both side by side, and then we have 2 into 20 pixel. No, not 20 pixel, 8 pixel. Here we can see where is 8 pixel? Yeah, border. The border one. The border is of the 8 pixels, so we just made it 2 into 8 pixels. So if you calculate this, you will get 216. So this is the total width of our box, including all this border and all. And then let's calculate the total height. So for the total height, it is 80. Height is 80 pixel. You can observe it over here. And 80 pixel, 80 pixel into 80 pixel, basically it is plus. Then 20 pixel is padding is applied at both the sides. So we will make it 2 into 20. And then one more thing we have is our border at both the sides. So border is of how much? 8 pixels. It is 2 into 8. 8 pixel. It is in total, if you calculate, it will be 136 pixel. Basically, the design it is pixel here. And then content box width. Content box width. As we have calculated over here, the content box width is 160. Sorry for that. Here, the content box width is 160. This is 160. And the height, similarly, the height is, what is the height? It is 80 pixel. 80 pixel. So this is basically how our sizing occurs if you give the box sizing as content box. So there are other types too. It works in other way if you give it in different way. So let's give, or let's uncomment this, and then I will use that class border box. And for the border box, let's give the box sizing as border box. So when I did that, you can see the size of this border box has been changed. This is slightly small. So let's see why it happened. So for this, you need to understand some of the computations. So same things happen here. The total height and the total width are same. Total height and total width are same as we have given it over here. And the next thing is that is to calculate it 160 and then 160 pixel. In this, what happens is you have to minus, and then what you will do is 2 into 20 pixel, and then you have to again minus this for the border. 2 into border is 8 pixel. So if you calculate this, it becomes 104. So this is the way our width is calculated. uh, Content box width. So this is the way the width of our content box has been calculated. So in the same way, if you want to calculate content box height, what you should do is this is 80 pixel, and then 2 into 20 pixel minus our 2 into 8 pixel. So if we calculate this, this will become 24 pixel. So this is the way the calculation for the box sizing border box occurs. So that is why this has been decreased over here. The size has been decreased. So this is the way these concepts, it is not a difficult concept. It is just a easy concept. If you just apply the basic math over here, you will understand. So while doing the CSS, you don't need to apply any sort of math or anything. It is just a basic logic, basic understanding that you have to apply. If you want to know more about it, you can just go to the Indian reference and you can see all the content mentioned over here. You can see the parent container, child container, all the way it has been mentioned. Suggest you to go through all of this, and if you get any doubt you can just google it out, and then when you build a new website after some time you will definitely get that out. So you can just go to the Indian reference and refer it over again. So the next thing I want I want you guys to learn is about the responsiveness of our website. So to learn about responsiveness, I have created a file named this one media queries.html. So this is just a basic HTML document. We already know each and everything here. So this is a very basic thing. I hope you guys are already well versed in this. So to understand about responsiveness, so responsiveness is basically a set of practices that allows the web pages to alter their layout and appearance to suit different screen widths, resolutions, etc. So it is an idea that changed the way we design for multi-device web pages. So basically, you know what? We are building a web page that will fix to our laptop size, right? So there are several devices of different width. So to build websites for different type of width, we need to apply the concept of responsiveness. So if we can see it over here, we can see that this is the website. This is a website. You can consider any website. So you can just inspect here, and we can see that if I decrease the size, the styling also gets changed, right? So it is get changed in such a way that it is understandable for the users. Users may not get confused, or some styles may not go out of the box. For that purpose, they have used this type of styling. You can see if I do this, this entire thing has been changed the way it looks. If I do like, if I increase, it has been changed. So you can see that let's say you want to wave for iPhone SE. So this is the size, and this is how it will be displayed for that particular mobile. And let's say iPhone XR. So this is it. And let's say Galaxy Fold. So this is how it basically works. So to make it responsive, we do have some CSS styling that we have to apply. We will learn all of them one by one. So for that, let's just cancel this out for now. So we have the concept of media queries here. So that is media queries. We can see that the name I have kept is media queries.html. So the concept of media queries is used to make our web pages responsive. So for several devices of the width like smartphone, tablet, or desktop. So basically, to understand about the syntax of our media queries, so this begins with art, and then we will write media, and then we will write the media type, and then I'll write and then I shall specify the media feature rule. If we implement this one by one, you will understand it in more clear way, but understanding the syntax is also most important for. And then here CSS goes. So this is the basic syntax of our media queries. This is how it actually works. To understand more about media queries, you can just go to Chrome and you can search media queries. Media queries CSS MDN, and you can go here. You can watch, you can see everything over here, right from the syntax to targeting media types, targeting media features, everything you can see over here. You can see the basic syntax they have given, and then this type you want to say, you want to print, or you want to just display it on the screen. So however, so you can just explore all of this content to understand more about media queries. So watching, going through the documentation is very important for every developer. So while you develop the websites, if you get stuck anywhere, don't think that it ended over there. Just go to the documentation and understand how things works. And after this, let's start learning about media queries. Um, Let me create a new page. Let me save this media.html. So in this, what we can just do is um inside of this body, let's just write a paragraph. This is paragraph. So this is paragraph, and you want to apply the style. Media queries are basically the styles itself. So style, and then what I want to do is, as we learned, it is media, the syntax. We have this concept of orientation. Let's say orientation. You will learn what it is. You will just learn it right away. Orientation can be portrait or landscape. You already know it as we all use our mobile phones. We have seen it over a period of time. Landscape. And so, what this is basically saying is apply the media query. So, we know that media queries are used to make our web pages responsive. So, when you want to make some changes, means when the orientation of the device is landscape, what you want to do is let's just change the color. Let's make it uh what's wrong with this? Yeah, actually we have to specify for what you want to apply. Let's apply to the body itself. So color, what color? Let's say it is blue violet. You want to apply this blue violet. Let's watch on our website side by side. Let's go live. So you can see that this is paragraph. This is in some violetish color. Basically, this supposed to be in black color if we had not applied it over there. So let's inspect and see what is happening over there. Uh, Let me just click to responsive, and then you can see that this is paragraph. So basically, this is in black color because it is not in landscape. To change it to the landscape, you can click on this button. If I click on this, it is changed to the landscape, and you can see the color has been changed. You can just make it over there, and if I decrease the size, you can see it is now black in color. If I increase it, you can see after a certain point, I think after 625, it goes to the landscape mode. So this is basically how our media queries work. Let's understand more about media queries deeper. um we can just make this a long paragraph. Lorem 20. Lorem 20. So let's say that you want to apply this media query in more long way. So for that, what we can just do is, you want to just display it on the screen, so you will write it as screen, and then along with that, what you want to just do is maximum width. You can set up the max width, let's say 600 pixel. Everything we mention is basically in the pixel. And once again, one more thing you want is orientation, as it was earlier. Orientation, orientation to be landscape. So basically, what this media query is saying means apply this media query when you are displaying this on the screen, and the maximum width of the device should be 600 pixels, and also it should be in the landscape mode. So this is what it is basically saying. We will go here to understand it in more better way. I will make it to the landscape. Uh, Let me reload the page. We're not seeing anything over here. We might have made some syntactical error here. Let's check what's that. Screen and max width 600 pixel, and then we want the orientation of landscape, body color, this one. Okay, that is perfect. So it is not being applied here. Let me just check it. Have done is, so basically this is a separate thing and this is a separate thing, right? To separate this we have to specify a comma here, and after specifying the comma, what we have to do is, what we are doing with this thing, what we are doing with this thing, we are displaying it on the screen, right? We're not printing it, so we will write it as screen. So let's go live now and we will watch. So yeah, you can see that, you can see when the maximum width is 600 pixels, so that means that the width should be less than the 600 pixel. You can see the width is represented here, that is 262. So because of that, this is in blue color. And the next thing we had mentioned was, and also it should be in orientation, that is landscape. It was, if it was in landscape mode, the content should be in bluish, or this whatever the color it is, purplish color. So let's make it 600 above. So you can see that we have increased it to more than 600, and it is not in landscape mode, and it, the max width is not 600, it is greater than 600 and not in the landscape mode. So for that reason the content displayed is in black color. So I hope you have understand how this basically the media queries work in the CSS. So okay, so this is how basically the media queries work. In the next video, what we can just do is we can understand more about this project. We can, this is basically a small thing, not a big project, but we have applied a lot of media queries here. We will understand it in more deeper way.